Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Or good day, depending on where you're from. Welcome back to another live stream. Hello, hello, hello. What's up? How's everybody doing today? Welcome back to another live stream. Another day, another opportunity to gain more conviction in our business. Continue to keep relentlessly showing up, working and learning every single week. Through experience, we will gain our conviction. Gotta show up, gotta put the time in, gotta keep practicing, gotta keep learning. Gonna keep showing up every single week. So for all the like-minded professionals that want to keep working with us, we will continue to keep providing our logic and our information here. Good morning or good day, depending on where you're from. Welcome back to another live stream. Take a moment to say good morning to the community. Welcome everybody into the stream before we get into any information here. So, let's see who we have here in chat today. See who we have here. Good morning, Jason. Good morning, Maya. Good morning, Darts. Good morning, Redme. Good morning, Mario. Good morning, Alexis. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, David. Malcolm, what's up? Honest Trades, what's up? The Jew, good morning. Tevin, good morning. Alan, good morning. Abjeet, good morning. Keith, good morning. Jugal, good morning. Humble Hustler, good morning. Emran, good morning. Pierre, good morning. OGT, how are you doing today? Pete, good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Hope everybody's day is going well. Hope everybody's week is going well. Take some time to say good morning to the community, and then we'll get into some information here. Francis, good morning. Dan, good morning. Weapon, good morning. Huff Trader, good morning. Joris, good morning. Legacy, good morning. Issa, good morning. EBZ, good morning. Frank, good morning. Nelson, good morning. Uturo, good morning. Mickey, what's up? Zshan, what's up? NCI Trader, good morning. Sammy, good morning. Shravan, good morning. Luke, good to see you. How are you doing today? Taffy, good morning. Zicky, good morning. Carla, good morning. Dwayne, good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Hope everybody's day is going well. Hope everybody's week is going well. Just welcoming everybody to the stream before we get into any information here. Kieran, good morning. Ricardo, good morning. Samuel, good morning. Ali, good morning. Ahmed, good morning. June, good morning. Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing so far today? How's everybody's week going so far? See how everybody's doing so far this week? Throw a 1 in the chat if you're green on the week. Throw a 2 in the chat if you're red on the week. And throw a 3 in the chat if you've yet to trade this week. See how chat's doing so far on the week. All right, some 1s to start. Some 2s as well. Looks pretty 50-50. Some more 1s and some more 2s. All right, looks pretty 50-50. Some more 1s and some more 2s. Yeah, it looks pretty 50-50 so far this week. Hey, good morning, Jack. Good to see you. Hope your week is going well. Well, just so we can get focused real quick, understand that the past does not reflect the future. Okay? Whatever has happened already this week, do not carry that into today. Today is a new opportunity. Start with a blank slate. Okay? Focus on the present. Don't worry about the past. Don't worry about the future. Can't control either one of those. What we can control is today and how we approach today. So, let's focus up. Let's make sure we keep our risk managed. Let's focus on implementing our process and allowing the results to be a byproduct of that. So, just one quick announcement before we get into some price action. I have a giveaway going on over on my Instagram. So for anybody that wants to participate in the chance to win a 50K Starter Plus account, head over to the Instagram and complete the following. The criteria to enter the giveaway is in the directions here. All right, so if anybody wants to participate in the giveaway, head over to the Instagram and you will see it there. Now we can start to get into some information here. We got another 5 minutes before the open. First things first is let's get over on the economic calendar. And this is the reason why. Right here. Okay, make sure you understand that 10 a.m. is a high impact news driver. Now, we didn't see much volatility with yesterday's Powell. So I'm not sure what's going to happen today. I'm not looking to predict it, but I am going to understand that 10 a.m. could see some volatility. Now, I said this before and I'll say it again. Just want to make sure that we're all under the same understanding here. News is simply a volatility injection. That's all it is. It does not provide direction of price. It does not provide sentiment for the market. And this past week is a good example of it. A lot of people are seeing all the news about the war. Okay? Some people might think that that's bad news. Some people might think it's good news. But that's the purpose, is that it doesn't matter what your perspective on the news is. It does not provide direction of price. Okay? Same thing goes for any other news. I mean, remember when they were screaming recession down here? When instead of screaming recession, they should be saying, buy now. This is your best buying opportunity. Not the market's crashing, we're going into a recession. Right? It's because news is simply to inject volatility into the market. Okay, so I'm specifically saying that because of the news that's currently occurring with all the war over in the Middle East. You have to understand that it does not provide direction to price. Price can and will do whatever it wants whenever it wants to. News is simply just going to speed up that process. That's all it is. Now, the other portion to that statement is if you're not capable of being objective to price because of the news, right? If the news is affecting you emotionally or mentally, and it's making you do something within your trading that you shouldn't be doing, then just don't trade. Okay? If you cannot be objective to price, don't trade. Plain and simple. Our job here as traders, as risk managers, is to create a plan, execute that plan with strictly defined risk management. You cannot control the news. You cannot control the price. You cannot control the economy. What you can control is the button that you click to get in and out of a position, and that's it. Okay, so be objective to the information, and if you're not capable of being objective, then just don't trade. Okay? There has been, and there always will be another opportunity. So you do not need to trade every single day. Wait until you're capable of being objective, Wait until you are strictly defining your risk. That's when you should be trading. Okay, so now let's get into some information here. A couple more minutes before the open. You can see that the news is why I'm not really in a rush here to get the top-down analysis completed. But we're going to start that now. So while I'm going through the information, if you have any questions or information regarding the analysis, feel free to throw it in chat. If you're wondering why you can't participate in chat, that's because you have to sub to the channel. Chat is sub-only mode. So make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. That way you can communicate with us here in chat. And now let's get our top-down analysis completed. So to begin the week, we had a bullish bias. Very clear that price took out multiple swing lows. For all the individuals that have been working with me, they know that when price is currently located below a swing low on the daily chart, we have a bullish bias. Price did a phenomenal job running to the target. Okay. So that bullish bias was completed when we hit the target here. The highs. Now that we're at the highs, it's a matter of understanding whether we are displacing through the highs or if we're seeing a reversal. And to me, this is clear as day. Couldn't be any clearer, in my opinion. We are clearly and decisively displacing through the swing high. Right? The presence of displacement literally means an FVG. So we can clearly see the bullish FVG here as we went through the swing high. Okay, so seeing the bullish FVG is what makes me say I'm looking for continuation of that bullish trend. Okay, so here's my bias moving forward. Right, I'm looking for continuation. And if we were to retest this level, right, anywhere within the FVG, that would be a long opportunity to look for a continuation. If they want to just run right out the gate and the bulls just want to continue without ever retesting the FVG, then so be it. I'm not going to chase price. I'm simply creating an idea so I understand what type of position to look for. And that type of position that I'm looking for is longs for this reason right here. When we went through the swing high, we decisively closed above it and we created a bullish FVG. So the presence of the FVG is what's stating I'm looking for continuation high. Okay, so now that we have an idea, we can go into the market and look for long positions. Now, here's the reason why I'm completely fine with it just running higher. Okay? Just because you have a bullish bias, that does not mean you instantly go in longing. You don't just come in here and smash the long button, the buy button. You still need to follow your entry function. You still need to follow the justifications to your actions. So for me to get long, for me to take advantage of that bias, I would have wanted to see a pullback into a higher time frame point of interest to create my entry function to then head higher. Right? I'm completely fine with being patient and staying on the sidelines until this happens. Right? Just because you have a bias, that doesn't mean you instantly go in and take a position. You still need to provide logic to your decision making. Okay, and everybody that's been working with me understands that we long below old swing lows and inside bullish fair value gap. All right, so now take a look at where price is currently located and seeing that we're above old swing highs. The bullish fair value gap that we would want to use is down here. I'm not willing to long up here. Okay. Just because you have a bias, that does not mean that you have to instantly be in a position. We have a bias, but now let's carry out the justifications to our actions. Right? Let's wait until we're at a higher time frame level to be looking for longs. When we get there, then look for our entry function. Okay, so hear me clearly. A bias is simply an idea for you to understand what side of the market to look at, to understand what type of position that you want to be in. Doesn't mean you have to instantly be in one. You still have to wait for your model. But at least we know which type of position we're looking for. Okay, so if they want to just run this thing higher right off the open, I'll let it go. I'm not going to chase it. That's not a part of my model. Yes, I'm bullish, but this is what I will look for to take advantage of that idea. We would need to see some kind of retracement into a higher time frame point of interest to then look for a long. Okay, so feel free to throw any questions or comments in chat, whether it's regarding that top-down analysis or if it's regarding any other portion of this business. Now we've created a game plan. We understand the important time of the day. So now it's a matter of waiting and implementing very sound logic to our decision making. So I will not be chasing price. You can see that I'm in my live account and there's no positions currently on. You can see that there's no orders being submitted. That's because I'm on the sidelines right now waiting. So feel free to throw any questions or comments in chat and we can go over either the top-down analysis, we can go over questions, anything regarding trading. Feel free to throw any questions or comments in chat now. My bias is short for NQ. Love the relative equal lows below the generated trend line liquidity. Is that the only reason why you're bearish? Or is there some other information showing a bearish bias? Because, you know, in my opinion, this market hasn't been bearish for quite some time. This has been an extremely bullish market for ever since, what is this, beginning of April? So I don't like the bearish idea at all. Hopefully there's a reason to why you're looking for shorts, but it's very clear we're heading for new all-time highs. That's my longer term target, new all-time highs. Thing is decisively moving higher. I mean, look at this thing. So hopefully there's some information that's pointing to a bearish bias, because I don't see anything stating lower prices. So it's ERL to ERL bias. Swing low to swing high. The swing low to swing high has already been completed. Okay. All right, we've gone from the swing low here to the swing high. That bias has already been completed. Okay. Now we're looking at a bullish FEG, and that's the reason why we're looking for continuation higher. We just created a bullish FEG on the daily chart. Asian low and London low is clean for a short on ES. Again, I really suggest you guys provide a little more logic to your decision making. Simply looking at a set of lows is not enough. It's just not enough. I'm not sure why you guys are bearish. This thing is just going higher right now, so that doesn't. There's not enough logic there to take risk on that. Your chart looks different than mine. One, I'm on the continuous contract, so that's the first thing. NQ1 exclamation point. That's a continuous contract. Second thing is, look down here on the bottom right. I have balance adjust on. So if you do not have balance adjust on, right? Look at the chart now. Now, hold on. Let me zoom out so you can see it. You should have balance adjust on. I guess it's not making too much of a difference, but balance adjust should be on, and that's probably the reason why there's a difference. Unless you're using a different contract. The name of NASDAQ, it's right here. NQ1 exclamation point. This is NASDAQ right here. You're currently looking at the continuous contract for NASDAQ. How to find the stronger pair? Use SMT. I have multiple different videos on SMT, so if you need help understanding that, take a look at the videos. Guys, I for all the people that are bearish, for all the people that are asking to be bearish, there is nothing bearish about this market. Be objective to price. Okay? Price is going higher. There's no doubt about it. Right? So the way you feel doesn't matter. I don't know if it's an emotional response that is happening. We need to be objective to price, right? Read price without any influence, right? If you're reading it like a book, like you're reading it left to right, it's very clear that we're heading higher right now. I'm really not understanding all the bearish comments. Not gonna end well if you guys are shorting right now. This thing just keeps going higher. Do you stick to the 5-minute time frame only? No, I've used many different time frames. You need to understand time frame alignment. That way you know which charts to be analyzing. ES is different from NQ. They're both heading higher. I disagree with that statement. Both of them made new highs here. Making new highs here. They're both heading higher, so I disagree with that statement. What do you do when your target is taken during pre-market? Nothing. If your objective to your position has already been completed, then sit there and be patient. Wait until you can clearly define new information. Right? You do not always have to be in a position. If the idea that you created has been completed before you got to engage with the information, then just don't do anything. Just go back to being patient and waiting. Ash, look at EU and GU. I'm sorry, I trade NQ and ES during New York Open, so my attention is going to be on NQ and ES this morning. Hi, Ash. Do you follow the time frame correlation? Yep, that's what I just mentioned about a minute ago. Use the time frame alignments to understand which charts to be analyzing. I use the daily for my bias. I use the hourly for my market structure. I use the 5-minute for my entry functions. That's one time frame alignment. The other time frame alignment is the 4-hour to the 15-minute to the 1-minute. Don't mix the time frame alignments. Just choose one and move forward with it. Maybe I don't understand the question, but I'll read it out loud. Maybe somebody could help me out. DD on with no trailing. What would you say regarding Prop DD rules? So I don't understand the first part of that question. Second part of that question is use a My Funded Futures 50K expert account for the sole fact that it's end of day trailing drawdown and there's no consistency rule. Okay. All other drawdown types, completely unrealistic, right? For example, Apex's unrealized intraday trailing drawdown is the most unrealistic trading conditions you can get. So why would you choose that? Use the My Funded Futures 50K expert account. Most realistic trading. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to take a sip of coffee as we're waiting and watching. All right. Thank you for your patience. When you're making your long-term investment decisions, do you use unicorns? Yes and no. There has been many times where I've entered long-term positions simply just for the investment. So when I bought Bitcoin and Ethereum, that was just because it was Bitcoin and Ethereum. It was not a unicorn. Now, I have used unicorns on the higher time frame, so I have made long-term investments with unicorns as well. So what I'm saying is I've done both. There had been times where I just bought it because it was that type of investment, along with there have been times where I've used higher time frame unicorns. So here's the higher time frame unicorn I used for one of my long-term investments. It was right here. Bought this during 2024. Bought Tesla. This was a daily unicorn. Still have that position. I also bought Amazon. This was a weekly unicorn. And the documentation is still there. So that proves the point right there. I bought this and Tesla from the unicorn model as long-term investments, and the thing is doing very well. Same thing with Tesla. So you can see it here too. Like there's another daily unicorn right here. Just like there was one right here. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. Exactly what a robot would say. Yeah, we came across the fact that I'm actually AI. So if you guys don't mind, just make sure my systems stay updated. All right, let me go back. I did miss a couple comments here. Also, there's been no 1 hour change in state of delivery. To me, that and the daily candle closure shows no signal of lower prices. Yeah, I fully agree with what you're saying, Luke. It's very clear that if we wanted to be bearish above this swing high here, we would have never made this FEG. This FEG would not be here if we were bearish. In fact, if we were bearish, this would be a big reversal candle, right? A huge seller's wick that looks like this. That's the time to be bearish when we're above swing high. Not when we're creating bullish FEGs. Right? And that's why I always say use the most recent information. Right? Like notice how this swing high was created on Wednesday the 11th of June. this bullish fair value gap was created on the 24th. So it's much more recent than this swing high. Use the current information. Be objective to the current information. And then even more so, once again, I agree with your statement. Ever since we got above this swing high, right? Ever since we got above this swing high, we have not seen any change in the state of delivery, right? They failed to do the change in the state of delivery here. They failed to do the change in the state of delivery here. There's another potential here, but we're far away from that again. The market structure hasn't changed. Like, it's just very clear that we're just doing higher highs and highs. We're just moving higher. Friend is your friend until the end of the trend. Price doesn't care about your idea. If you want to be bearish, it doesn't matter what you think. You have to be objective to price. What matters. Friend is your friend. My question is, how would you manage target in these conditions with no draw on liquidity, just all-time highs after all-time highs? All-time highs is the target. So maybe I'm not understanding correctly, but there is a draw on liquidity, right? Price needs to take out this swing high. Price needs to take out this swing high. So there is a target to use. There is a draw on liquidity, and right now that's all-time highs. Okay. In terms of you trading your model, the way that you trade your model stays the same no matter what, right? You should be risking 1 to 2 risk to reward. That part doesn't change. With Unicorn University, do you have a trial out? No, there is no trial. Okay. There is no free trial. One minute bearish unicorn. All right. We'll take a look at it, but I don't know how many more times I'll have to say it. I am not interested in lower prices. Even if this is what you're talking about right here, looks like this probably went to R already. Yeah, so this thing... Yeah, so this thing ran right to the target. Now it's below the lows, so unless you market ordered in, this thing already did its job. Once again, this doesn't matter, right? Just because there's a unicorn on the screen, that does not mean you should be executing it. If you can't provide sound logic to your decision making, you should not be taking a trade. Trading the 1 minute counter trend, trading the 1 minute, that just doesn't sound good at all. Doesn't sound good at all. See, like, for example, this is what I tried stating in the beginning of the market. I would rather see a pullback to then get long, right? Stick with the higher time frame trend. Wait for price to get to a higher time frame point of interest. Then wait for our entry function. Ash, do you observe and use the first 930 FVG or the opening range gap? No, I don't know what that is. I highly suggest you stay away from the new shiny object syndrome. Every time a new concept comes out, that doesn't mean you should be using it. And let me just shed some light on that. There is nothing new under the sun. So every time you see something new, sure you know that that's a marketing tactic. There is nothing new. There's nothing new in this market. Been around for hundreds of years. Okay, so stop falling for the advertising. Stop falling for the marketing. Okay? Every time a new concept comes out, just understand it's not new. There's nothing new under the sun. So don't fall for that marketing stuff. So unicorn model is also marketing? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. You understand that the market was created hundreds of years ago, right? Unicorn model didn't just come out of nowhere. Not something new. Like, for example, you could just be calling this... Ready? Let's see who knows what this is. Ready? What would you call this right here? Let's see. What would you call this right here? A lot of people probably call it a unicorn model, right? Breaker block plus FEG. Well, people 100 years ago are probably saying we've broke out of the downtrend. This is just a break and retest, right? Trend line breakout. See what I'm trying to say here? Is there's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new. Yeah, sure, we're calling it a unicorn model now. But you have to understand that we were doing trend line breakouts forever. This is just a break, retest, and go. It doesn't matter what you want to call it. There's going to be a new terminology each day of the week, and that's what I'm pointing at. Every time there's a new terminology, that doesn't mean you change what you're doing because there's something new and better. That's not it. You're going to be lost in information overload. You're never going to know how to actually execute in the market because you're always going to be in this infinite loop of learning, trying to find what's best, the holy grail. There is no holy grail. You guys got to understand that. You just got to be an independent thinker. You got to understand what you're capable of executing and go execute. That's all it comes down to. Find something that you can identify. Find something that you can execute. Find something that defines your risk management. And then have the mental and emotional control to execute that over a long period of time. Doesn't matter what it's called. $10 o'clock coming up here. See the 5-minute chart? Yeah, we are on the 5-minute chart. We are currently on the 5-minute chart. See what Powell has to say. I do like that ES got to tap into the hourly FEG. Some SMT there at the lows as well. Right, notice how NQ did not take out the previous hourly candle low. Notice how ES did. That's bullish SMT at a location of a bullish higher time frame point of interest. Watch out for all those bulls that, for all those people that keep asking about being bearish today. Watch out, because now you just got that pullback that I was looking for, right? That move into a higher time frame point of interest. You just got a crack in correlation as well, showing a bullish sentiment. Watch out for all those bears. All those bears that have been in chat this morning. We close above here, and that's your change in the state of delivery. Right. Tapped into a hourly bullish fair value gap, and now you get a bullish change in the state of delivery. See, this sounds like something to take advantage of. It would look like this. Wait for the closure. It has not closed yet. Okay, so it's not valid yet. Still a minute and a half here. You'd need to see a candle closure above the change in the state of delivery for this to be valid. That's a big risk. Well, if 8.75 points is too much risk for you, go down to the micros and position size accordingly. The same thing here. 8.75 points, but your risk will be much smaller because your position size is much smaller. So you have to understand that you need to put your stops where true invalidation is. You don't put your stop dependent on your risk. Okay, the market determines the entry, the market determines the stop. You determine your size, right? True invalidation would be here. That's why the stop loss goes there. Okay, so we'll see if they want to confirm this. Hi, Ash, YES instead of NQ. We are not trading anything right now. So there is nothing that we are taking. You're saying ES instead of NQ, not taking one or the other because nothing is confirmed. So, again, please hear me clearly. If it does not, okay, there you go. It did not close above the change in the state of delivery. So this still is not valid yet. It's just simple preparation. Waiting and watching, preparing for the idea. You would need to close above the change in the state of delivery for this to be a confirmed bullish change in the state of delivery. So no, nothing has been chosen yet. Hence why I'm in my live account here and there's no positions shown on the screen. 10 o'clock here now too. So now you got Powell. Okay. Doesn't really look like we're getting too much volatility from it just yet. Now we got Powell testifying. Have you ever taken a runner after hitting 2R? Yes, I've had trades that were more than 2R. Yes, it does have an opportunity to be a unicorn. You just have to close above the breaker, right? This would be the breaker here. You would need to close above that and leave an FVG aligned with it. That hasn't happened yet, so I cannot call it a unicorn yet. Just like the change in the state of delivery has not happened yet. That's why I said that's not confirmed yet. We're just waiting and watching. We're being patient. Just waiting and watching. So we got another 15 minutes before I wrap up the stream. At 10:15, I will be closing it up so that I have 15 minutes before the My Funded Futures live stream. We'll need to get a new cup of water and a snack before that new live stream. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to throw it in chat as we're waiting and watching. No candle closure above the change in the state of delivery. Still got to keep waiting for the idea. Nothing has been confirmed yet. Do me a favor, as we're waiting and watching, sub to the channel, like the video, turn the notifications on, that way you can be alerted for when we go live again. We've been going live every single week. We'll continue to keep documenting our journey here, along with all the giveaways that we do across our social medias, trying to get as many accounts for everybody as possible, trying to add as much value as possible week. Do you have a way for me to copy trade you? Absolutely not. I will never do that. Sounds like a horrible idea. Should have just said, do you want to open yourself up to lawsuits? Just change the question a little bit. Do I trade gold? I've taken one trade on gold in my entire lifetime, and it was a loser. Ash, a close below the 7 o'clock hourly candle on ES would be the... Let's see if you're correct. It'd be the 6 a.m. candle right here. Not the 7 a.m. It would be this candle. Since there's consecutive up closes, it would be this candle here. It'd be the 6 a.m. candle. It would have to close below here for it to be a change in the state of deliver. An hourly candle close below here would be a bearish change in the state of deliver. So very happy with the patience so far this morning. Price has not done anything. NQ at least had a nice little push off of the open, but we're still back at the 9:30 opening price. So just getting some consolidation here to start the day. ES is just quite literally going sideways. Swept out the highs. We swept out the lows. Nothing to do here. Patience is truly a virtue. I'm more than okay with being patient and waiting. I'm flat on the day, and if price doesn't provide something aligned with my model, then I'll have no issue being flat for the day. Right now, this thing is just going sideways. HMH, nice to see you. Hope your week is going well. Still just waiting and watching. Again, for anybody that wasn't here in the beginning of the stream, we do also have a giveaway going on Instagram. If you want a chance to win a 50K Starter Plus account, head over to Instagram and complete the entry criteria. It's shown right here on the post. So, whole lot of nothing going on so far. Price is just going sideways here. I'm just going to keep waiting. I have no interest in lower prices. On top of the fact that there's just nothing clear here, right? Like, what is this? This is just sideways chop. This is not what I want to be in. I mean, look at this. Look at this. It's just... This is what we're getting right now. Okay. This is what I would want to be in, right? Something that has equal highs, and then we're moving lower. We're moving lower. We hit a higher time frame point of interest. We create a bullish unicorn. Then we can target the equal highs. Look at how different these two things look. This is what we're currently getting right here. This is what I would want to use. So no trades. I'll continue to keep waiting. Last thing I'll do is force myself upon the market. I'd rather just save the mental capital at this point. You'll realize that majority of this business is spent doing nothing. That patience is truly a virtue. That what you do in between your trades is what's going to make or break you as a trader. Right? Are you impulsively getting right back into a trade? Are you oversizing? Do you feel the need to be in a trade? Is there any eagerness? Or are you capable of just waiting? Can you wait until you can clearly define higher probabilities? What you do in between your trades will define you as a trader. That's what the moment is right now. That's what we're currently dealing with. In between trades, and there is nothing clear enough to actually take risk on. So we'll be patient. We'll just keep waiting. Got another 5 minutes here before we wrap up the stream here and we head over to the My Funded TV stream. If you want to continue the conversation over there, definitely check out that YouTube channel. I will be live streaming the 10:30 to 11:30 segment Monday through Friday. So we got another 5 minutes here before I wrap this up. If you have any last questions or comments or information, please feel free to throw it in chat. While you're at it, like the video, sub to the channel. We continue to keep doing this every week. Whole lot of nothing still. Thing is just going sideways. Patience is truly a virtue. Today is going to be a patient day. Do I have live trades every day? I'm not the individual to be trading every single day. I usually have, on average, about 2 trades a week. I'm not the individual to be trading 10, 20, 30 times. I have other stuff to be working on, health to be working on, family to spend time with. I'm not glued to the computer screen 12 hours a day. Do you look to trade on lower time frames like the 1 minute? Yes, I've taken trades on the 1 minute. Not because there's no trades on the 5 minute. I don't compare the time frames. I don't go, oh, there's no trade on the 5 minute, so let me go down to the 1 minute. I use time frame alignment. When I'm capable of identifying higher probabilities, then I'll take a trade. It's not a comparison thing. Being patient is good for trading. Definitely good for trading. Looks like some more SMT there at the lows again. Alrighty. So, still nothing to do. I have no problem staying on the sideline. Quite lethargic, considering Powell's testifying. My short trade idea worked. Congratulations on the short. So the bearish unicorn that you mentioned, very good job. Good job. That's why it's so important to be an independent thinker. Right? It doesn't matter what I say. It was still a winning trade. That's what matters. Good job being an independent thinker, analyzing on yourself, executing by yourself. Very good job. How many losses for me this year? I got to check the data. Trying to find a trade right now, so I don't know off the top of my head. I've had multiple losses, so I've just above a 50% win rate right now. I just have to get over to my data to be able to know the actual number. All right, so we got one more minute here before I wrap it up. Move over to the My Funded Futures live stream. So if anybody wants to continue the conversation with me, let's head on over to the My Funded Futures live stream. We'll continue this same information over there. No position yet, as you can see. Live accounts right here. No orders, no positions, no P&L. I'm fine with being on the sideline. Continue to be flat until my game plan appears. Patience is truly a virtue. Let's continue this conversation over on the My Funded Futures live stream. Thank you to everybody that participated this morning. I really appreciate all the questions and comments, really providing a lot of value for the live streams. I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll see you over on the My Funded Futures live stream. Have a nice day, everyone.